And we are live. Howdy, everybody. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome.
Hi, everybody.
Sandy is with Pam and I today, and she's going to talk about the Puerto Vallarta SPCA, where she volunteers on her vacations every year. And while we were all watching, somebody's got me on in the background. While we were all, there we go. No, I still hear me.
I don't.
Yeah.
While we were watching, okay, Ida, the hurricane NORA was over on the other side of the Gulf, hitting Mexico, and the shelter that Sandy volunteers at, that, like I said, was really just decimated. So she had asked about posting the GoFundMe link in Fish Tuber's notification, and I said I thought it would be fine, but I don't own that page, so I asked Brandon, and he said absolutely. So that kind of gave the idea to maybe have Sandy on and us talk about what happened and see if we can raise a little bit of money, to help. So,
Yeah.
Pam, how are you?
I'm here.
I see. I just
So
realized.
don't call the police on me today.
Don't call them. Were you here for that, Sandy?
Yeah.
Yeah, called the police on her.
Yeah.
Several times. Maria don't play.
Yeah, she doesn't play around.
We've been looking at the chat and reading the chat, guys. So I'm just going to say welcome, everybody. And I did pack that snake cozy, put his slippers and everything there, Mike. So he should be there tomorrow. So.
Oh, that's so exciting, Mike.
Yeah. He's a little rascal too. Let me tell you, he's not afraid of anything. He was trying to get my finger when I was closing him up in there. Cute.
Beautiful, beautiful snake. So I like the colors on yours better.
Yeah, that mine's definitely more color. Mike's already named him, but I don't know if he's made that public. Maria said she'll do it again. All right, Sandy, I'm going to bring you up and let you, if it'll let me, there we go, talk about what's going on. And
well, I'll give you kind of a little bit of a back history. About 6 years ago was my first trip ever to Puerto Vallarta, and I totally fell in love with the place. Like, I've gone back 2 or 3 times a year since. And on my first trip, I met this woman. Her name's Laura Miller, and we became very good friends. And she was the one that we just start talking about our dogs and stuff. And she was the one that told me about the dog sanctuary, the SPCA Puerto Vallarta. So anyways, I started following them on Facebook, and then on my next trip, I made my first volunteer trip there, and I just fell in love with it. You walked into this place, and they play classical music all day for the dogs, and the quarters that the dogs are kept in are so spotless you could eat off the floor. And I then met the founder of the shelter, and her name is Janice Chatterton, but she has since passed away. But she was the one who started it when she moved to Puerto Vallarta and realized the extreme need for something for these dogs and cats that live on the streets. Their lifestyle is a lot different down there, and they don't care for their dogs and cats the same way as we do. And most of them are just left out on the street. It's nothing to drive down the street and see dogs laying in the middle of the road sleeping. Many of them are just abandoned out in the streets. Puppies are found in boxes on the side of the road, even in garbage bags, stuff like that. So, she's saved thousands of dogs and cats from certain death on the streets of Puerto Vallarta. And so when I go down there, I do everything in my power to help them. And I've done many fundraisers for them. I went down just before COVID hit last year and was able to give them 14,000 pesos, which is enough money to spay and neuter like 70 dogs and cats and medications on top of that. I mean, it was only $1,200 Canadian, but 14,000 pesos. And so, you know, it went a long way for them. But, you know, my dream was someday when I retire, because I'm going to be 62 soon, was to move down there and literally physically work at the sanctuary and get out there and rescue dogs and cats off the street. But on Sunday morning, sorry,
It's okay. You take your time. It's very emotional.
yeah,
We're gonna
Sunday
we're
morning
gonna
I woke up to find that it was gone from flooding in the hurt. Sorry. So, anyway, they they saved 58 dogs overnight. Unfortunately, they lost 4 souls, and but a school was kind enough to let them set the dogs up in the school grounds and under shelter, so they're dry and safe right now. They the people who live in Puerto Vallarta have really come a long way, and some dogs have gone into temporary foster homes. Mostly the small ones. Not too many people want the medium size or the large ones. But they've gotten donations of food and bowls and things like that. Two of the staff lived at the shelter full time. They lost everything. So
oh
again, the
wow.
people of Puerto Vallarta, the expats and stuff, are donating food and meals, like dinners, meals and stuff, and clothing for these two women that live there. But they need a lot of help with vet bills and you know, keeping the 58 dogs they have healthy, and some of them were in the midst of major healing from horrific accidents, being hit by cars and stuff, and um, you know, and they need to continue rescuing these dogs off the street. There's dogs every day rescued, and so and they need to rebuild the shelter. They've got a nice chunk of land there. Unfortunately, this little tiny creek, and that's all it was a little tiny creek. I walked there with my baby when I went to visit her at the sanctuary. I took her for a walk. We went down to the creek. It was literally only 6 feet wide, maybe 8, 9 inches deep. And if you see in some of the photographs that are on the GoFundMe or on the video that I just uploaded about an hour ago, how huge that it became a raging huge river, and it just slowly wiped it out, everything. So I guess that's kind of my story.
I
And
was I was really shocked when I saw that water and how high it got up in the building.
yeah, yeah, like seriously, it was a tiny creek, just a little thing. And but with the amount of rain that a hurricane brings, and the way Puerto Vallarta is situated, it's surrounded by mountains. So mountains back the whole entire city of Puerto Vallarta. So the heavy rains, it just washed everything down from the mountains. And like even down in Old Town and the Romantica Zone, which is close to the Malecon or the ocean, had several feet of sand and mud and crud down there. It was all streets turned into a raging river themselves. So, you know, I was there 3 years ago during Hurricane Willa, and I got a call from Janice, and it's the one time I stay in a resort. I don't normally stay in a resort when I go there. I like to stay with the locals, but she asked for help. We evacuated 108 dogs at that time out of the sanctuary because of the fear of the river and the creek. And we put them up in Hacienda St. Angel, which was Richard Burton's home back in the day and is now a five-star luxury boutique hotel. And we put 108 dogs in that hotel overnight
Wow.
during Hurricane Willa. And boy, they stayed in style that night. But luckily, the rains weren't so bad, and the nothing happened to the shelter that time. But this time we didn't luck out so much.
Sandy, what's the capacity? I mean, the maximum capacity there?
Um, they can house probably up to about 200 dogs at a time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and there were several different areas to the shelter, and none of these dogs were ever kept in crates ever. Janice Patterson never believed in crates, um, but they had very large kennels, which had an indoor area and an outdoor area,
Yeah.
and then there was an intensive care unit, and that's where I first met Sadie, my dog that I brought home from there. Um, they let me go in there with little booties on and stuff and sit with her. But so they had the intensive care, and that was for all intakes. You would go there first to be vet checked, recover from being spayed or neutered, recover from terrible injuries, things like that, and even disease and things. And then they had another section beyond that, which was the area that mama dogs would go and be able to have their puppies and teeth and and
Sounds
be
like
safe.
a really nice place.
Yeah, and she just built not too long ago a therapy pool because there's many dogs that live there permanently now because nobody wants them, and so the sanctuary was their permanent home. And she built a therapy pool for paralyzed dogs, and I included a picture of that. I think in the yeah I did in the video that I just uploaded, and then beyond the therapy pool was several different playgrounds for dogs, and it was a beautiful place. And they had a special area for dogs that cross over the Rainbow Bridge because that happens sometimes too. They just can't save all of them, but they try their
Right.
darndest.
Right.
And most of these dogs um, get adopted in the United States and Canada. I believe WestJet and Air Transit will fly dogs for free
Wow.
for the sanctuary, and a lot of expats and travelers that come to Puerto Vallarta all the time, we call them um, angels wings or wing angels, flight angels, because
Right.
you need to have somebody escort the dogs. So if you're on a flight, you can be a flight angel for one of the dogs so that at least when you get to the airport, their destination, then they claim the dog and bring it out, and then you wait. Whoever's adopting the dog is waiting in the waiting area for them. And uh, yeah, like I fostered dogs from there myself, and gone to the airport to pick up many, bring them home.
Well, it's good to know that the census was down right now. I mean, but still, 3 cats and a dog lost. That's awful.
Yeah, and
So sad.
what's amazing and the dedication and stuff too of the staff and the volunteers there is even though that happened on Saturday night, Sunday morning they still got 9 dogs to the airport on flights headed to Canada. on Sunday morning after all that happened.
Those volunteers are really committed.
Absolutely.
Very
Absolutely.
committed.
That's like
That's
when I'm
amazing.
down there, that's all I do. Well, I might take a day or two for myself to drink margaritas and hang out on the beach.
Well, yeah.
But I that's where I'm happy, is being out there.
Is your baby there near you? We can see her.
Pardon me?
Is your baby there with you? Can we
Sadie?
see her?
Yeah.
See?
Here's Sadie. Come here.
No, that's not the only one you've got, but
Come here. Here's Sadie. Come here. Here, 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 here.
here she is.
Okay, I got her. There she is.
Oh, bless
That's
her.
Sadie. Yeah, that's who I brought home, and then this is Milo.
Oh, you're Milo too. I forgot that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Jordy. He's just him. And both Milo and Jordy are Mexican hairless, but I didn't bring them back from Mexico. I adopted them from my local humane society.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's 4 dogs.
No, just 3.
3? Oh,
I have 3
okay.
dogs and a cat,
Okay.
but my cat scares me. I'm scared of her.
Is he related to Mario at Pam's?
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, between the dogs and the cat and I don't know, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 fish tanks. Keeps me busy.
Wow. It's kind of like Bob Kaler's.
Oh, not near as big as that.
There's Shell posting your link to your video too there. I wonder
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
what,
Thank you, Maria.
what the total is on the GoFundMe now. We can try to set a goal for the rest of the stream if we can meet it. But I don't push buttons.
Let me see.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. Okay.
Oh, I clicked it and it says campaign not found, so that wasn't the right one.
Oh, the link's not the right one.
One that Mike has posted isn't the right one.
Uh-oh. Mike started his own little fundraiser, it sounds like. He's
No,
bad about
that's
that.
not working. It says campaign not found.
Mike. I'm kidding.
Okay, let me try Maria's. Maria got it.
The
Oh
one,
man, what a mess.
the one in the description is right, I know, because I tried.
Right now we're at $200.
Okay, awesome. And the goal is 1,000, I think.
The goal is 5,000.
5,000. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why they let me do the numbers. So.
Yeah, I didn't really want to put too much of a limitation on it. I usually do, but you know, they just need so much right now, right? Like it's going to take a lot to rebuild that place.
Yeah.
And you know, it was quite evident. Janice Chatterton, who founded it and built it, and she always said it was totally run on donations. That was it, you know. And it's a nonprofit. It's a no-kill shelter. They absolutely will not euthanize a dog or a cat unless it's absolutely necessary because it will not survive with any quality of life.
Right.
But it was quite evident that when she passed away, the shelter struggled a lot. And so it became quite clear to all of us at that time that an awful lot of Janice's money, her own personal money, went into keeping that shelter going.
Yep.
And but they recovered and they were doing well. When I was there just before COVID, I was at a fundraiser. It's called Evening Under the Stars, and it happens every year. And one of their goals that night, and I felt totally out of place because here I thought I was dressing up, you know, like really getting dressed up nice. And, you know, I get there and holy smoke, They were dressed to the hilt, like
Oh, wow.
it was really fancy. But anyway, I still had a good time. So one of their goals was to raise money for solar panels, and they just put the solar panels on the shelter.
Oh, man.
And yeah,
It was insured, I'm sure, but
I haven't heard. I asked Stephanie. I asked my friend Stephanie, who goes down there several times a year, and she's worked with the SPCA for years. And I haven't heard back from her yet. I'm sure they probably have, but I don't know how that all works in Mexico.
oh, yeah.
And you know, so I don't know. I would hope so, but I haven't had a clear answer on that yet. I just wish I could be there, but I can't. So.
Well, insurance, I found out from a couple of little tornadoes here, insurance has deductibles. Usually on natural disasters, they're high. Like you end up paying most of it anyway, so they'll have that. Plus, lots of other stuff insurance is not going to be able to handle or fall under there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, a nice thing too is Puerto Vallarta is made up of so many American and Canadian expats that live there, 6 months out of the year. Some of them live there year round. And so, they will have some support from them as well.
Pam, we need to go there.
Yeah.
You sound very enthusiastic about that, Pam.
I'm not much of a traveler right now.
Well,
yeah.
I plan on going. As soon as I've had enough of bus driving for a long time, but I mean, I still have to do it for a little while. And but as soon as I hang up my bus driving gloves, I'm heading that way. At least for the start, for 5 to 6 months out of the year. I want to enjoy my life.
Uh-oh. Get them. Get them. Get them. They get aggravated with me at the art because they want the dogs. Some of them do to stop barking when they bark, and I'm like, get them, tear them out, get them. They seem to settle down about the same length of time. They're just doing their job.
Hey, I'd like to see you and Pam. You make me not so big. It feels weird.
Oh, okay. Exit solo layout.
Barking at the cat. Were you just barking at the cat, huh?
To make sure Pam's got her shirt on. Hey, Robert. There she is.
I had to see what the dog was barking at, but I think she was just barking at the cat.
Hi, Robert. Hi, Mike. Hi to everybody. I'm sorry I wasn't watching the chat. I apologize.
You've been kind of keeping up with it. So, is there anything you can think of? Some people like to just send something specifically. Is the GoFundMe the best, or is there something that they? Sometimes people have things too that they make or they own, or they can donate.
The problem right now, normally I would probably say yes. It's, DHL is probably the most reliable way to ship something down there.
International. Yeah.
I wouldn't trust anything else. I would not trust the mail.
Oh no.
But right now, because they're relocated, I'm not sure how to get anything down there, like anything physically down there.
Well, and I wonder if probably storage right now is an issue for them too.
Yes, they had posted asking somebody if they had an extra garage space or something to store things.
Okay.
And I believe they got that. Yesterday, their goal was they were asking for people who had pickup trucks and big, strong men to go and retrieve anything that was salvageable from the building, because like most of the building's gone,
Yeah.
but any part of the building that is still standing is structurally unsound. But there are things in there that they can still retrieve. Like I think they had a big refrigerator, um, that they would keep medications and whatnot in,
Yeah.
and food because they fed exclusively a raw diet there,
Oh wow.
and so I mean they would have had to have freezers and stuff to store. But I don't know. I haven't heard if anything was sellable or not.
New people coming in, welcome. And if you didn't see the description or the thumbnail, where Sam's telling us about the shelter where she volunteered, and the other hurricane, Nora, just literally decimated it. And the thumbnail is one picture of that. But so we're doing that. Just got a GoFundMe, and we're trying to help a little bit in the stream to get things that the pets and the shelter need. So the links are up there if you are able to help. Everything helps. So
Yeah, I know it's not fishy related, but I know all us in the fish fam have love for other animals as well as our fish. So
yeah,
I
most
appreciate
people
any
that
help.
have fish have a dog or a cat or 3, 4 of each, or you know.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, for
And
sure.
sometimes it doesn't matter that people don't. They still want to help. Whatever.
Yeah.
So there's also a link in the description to Sandy's Facebook page, and there are more pictures there, and she's got several posts on there from the shelter and what it looks like now, and information about it. So
Yeah, and I think I put like all those pictures, plus I added a bunch more of before and after pictures of some rescues that we had done
good.
over the years, and then like how the sanctuary looked before, and then how the sanctuary looks now
All
on the
right.
video that I just uploaded this afternoon. They're all on there, so they're all on my YouTube channel too.
I hadn't seen that yet, so I'm going to watch it right after I watch Rob 93. I haven't seen Rob.
I cried my eyes out making the whole thing. And then
Yeah, I bet.
especially, I put a little video clip in it too of when I went to the airport and picked Sadie up at the airport. I always cry every time I watch that video too. I'm just a sap when it comes to
Well,
animals, I guess.
yeah, well, me too. They're my babies, and like I said in our description, they depend on us. They can't help themselves. So
Sure, yeah.
Yazzie is
Oh, here's
doesn't
Jordy.
need anybody
He's great. Here,
except
go
Pam.
get this. Oh, this one's George. This is Jordy.
Oh, and he's hairless.
Yeah,
I'm gonna bring you back up there again so we can see him.
he's actually so hairless. Hey, Jordy,
Oh
yeah.
wow,
He's so hairless. He doesn't even have eyelashes. This guy.
Oh,
bless him. I've seen on different dogs and other animals
But
that
this
it's the
guy,
skin. Uh-oh.
little Milo, he has like a little. The only place he has hair is like right here on the top of his head, and I call it like his little Brillo pad. Hey,
Oh,
yeah.
Milo, Milo. It's their skin that has the color. So whatever color their skin is, where their spots are, that's where the fur's color. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's
Cows
great.
and llamas and dogs, and Mike's tracking his snake. Must have just left Fort Worth an hour ago and did that his way. Okay, cool, awesome. Hey, Brandon. And again, we've got a GoFundMe. We're posting for new people coming in. It's a shelter that got destroyed, literally, where Sandy volunteers by Hurricane Nora. So that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, and like I understand too. Like Hurricane Ida was really really bad too, and I can't imagine what everybody's going through down there as well. You know,
It
I haven't
is, and the
heard.
people without electricity and
Yeah,
water and stuff. And
It's
you know,
just
sometimes
nature.
people will say, well, "What about the people?" and "What about that?" Well, there's enough causes, enough needy things that you know you can choose. You know, you don't have to pick one. You know, you can choose. You know, pick the one you want to help. You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah. And there's, um, animals don't have, they, I don't know, they don't have a way to get to safety the same way we do, you know?
right.
Like they don't have a choice to evacuate and, get the heck out of town sort of thing, right? They're kind of
Right,
helpless when it comes
exactly.
to nature, you know? Same like
Exactly.
with raging fires and stuff, like it's horrific.
Yeah, Sean said as long as it helps. That's right. There are plenty of ways to help. So, exactly.
Yeah.
Pam, did you have a little bit up there and I missed her?
Yeah. She's a pain in the
Star.
neck.
Oh, Star.
Yeah, here's
That's
me. I'm
not
going like
true.
this to see if I can see Star on Pam's.
I know. I do that too.
It's like crazy.
I don't even know if Pam still has her. I think she made a recording of her. And she makes her stay out of the room when she's screaming. I haven't seen her lately, so I don't know. Star, jump up there. Let me see you, girl. Jump up there.
Come here.
See, Yazzie can't hear you
Everything
guys, but
is cute.
oh, there's the star. Let
Here
me
she
blow her up a little
is.
bit. Yes, sir.
So cute.
Bless her.
Hi,
She's not as
Star.
licky. She's not crazy with the licking. She's like, hey, I'm on camera. Look at me. Oh, you've about broke her from licking, hadn't you?
She's
Or she,
still licks, but she's getting better.
she just given up on. She can't catch you. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Mike said Meanie Head Pam hasn't even shown Star the last two streams. He's keeping count, Pam. She's so precious. And you know, Pam got her from the shelter too.
Yeah.
Shelter dogs rock. They do.
Don't shop. Adopt.
That's right. Oh yeah, Pam is on tonight at 11,
yeah.
and who else? Dan is on at 9, and I think Rob is on at 7, but I haven't seen him. He usually pops in, and then who else? Jadron is on at 8. He's new to the lineup, so it's a full evening, guys.
Yeah, I
And
watched Jadwin last week. That was a fun, very fun
yeah,
stream he had.
I had to go back and watch it because we were in search of Pam during that
Hmm.
time.
Okay, you can put me down now.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Mike said all his cats are rescues. Hey, Daniel.
Awesome.
Oh. And if anybody wants to come up on panel, that is awesome too. Let me know and I'll put the link in there. I will put it
You
in
like
there.
my sign?
Dogs welcome, people tolerated. I like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes not very well either.
Right.
Trying to see. 1, 2, 3. Trying to see any new members are in here. Guys, I'm going to have a members only stream sometime coming up soon, but I'll um, be
Yeah, I'll
something
have
like
to
out of, oh,
renew my membership. I had a little bit of trouble with my credit card.
well,
So it cut me off.
well, hold off on that because things is a change, as they say.
It's okay now, but I just haven't renewed it yet.
Dan's Fish at 9. Yeah, he's got those licorice grommies tonight. It's a fish I've never had. I've seen them.
Oh, really?
Yep,
Nice.
yep, yep, yep. So you'll be entering licorice, I bet, in the as the hashtag. I'm predicting it'll be licorice. So nobody wants to come up. It's fine. Let me go ahead and put it in there just in case.
I gotta show everybody the shirt I'm wearing. Sand Creek Aquatic shirt.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. We were doing that before the stream,
Yeah.
and I had the same shirt, but when I went, where am I? This was in there, so I pulled my Sand Creek off and put on the Florida Fish Rescue one. Rocco made those during that 24-hour stream. I got mine came today, and even said the Codfather on the envelope.
Nice. Well, other than your hoodie, Bob, this is the only fish fam shirt I have, and Amy sent it to me after Nathan passed away. She sent me a lovely gift box with this in it and some nice stuff. Like a nice
She sent me mine too.
A nice picture book of Nathan.
It
Got a
is
whole
a
bunch
nice
of
one.
pictures inside it.
Yeah. I think you and Nathan were friends, like outside the fish fam, weren't you? Or
yeah, we chatted. Like he was about the only live stream I would ever go on before because it was that night and nobody was watching.
Yeah.
Well, no, there was lots of people watching, but it was, I don't know. I had fun on his streams and we chatted a lot as well, other than on YouTube. He was a good friend.
Yeah, Nathan was the best, I'll tell you. Nick said he just set up 50 times. He was. Yep. And I'm glad I've got his snake here. Sandy, named after Sand Creek. I'm about to get some of his fish back too.
Didn't you say you're getting his convict back from Anthony?
Yeah, I've got one of them still, a big male over here, and Anthony's going to send me this other 7 back.
Nice.
So I think he may need the tank space, or I don't know what it is, but I want them for sure. So yeah, and Jadrin's at 8 o'clock. So Ed's here. Somebody said word on the street, but I didn't see him. Huh? I didn't see.
Didn't James from Fish Road Beaver get some of Nathan's angels?
I know.
I
he
think
and
so, if I
Ed
remember right.
went.
I think so, yeah.
It would be
That's
sure
actually,
nice if they spawned and he could divvy them up
yep.
between some of the fish fam, some of the babies.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah, they went over there, the 2 of them, and broke down the tank. That's actually how I got the snake and the comics, as they brought them back to me.
Yeah, I remember.
So it was nice.
Yeah.
Invite a guest. Okay. Okay. I'm going to put the link in there. Maybe Ed will come up and talk to us. He's just fresh in from the neighbor. Godfather keeps up with the fish fam, Tennessee Fish Mafia. I love your heart.
Jordy, shush.
It's hard to tell who's barking. We've all got barking dogs.
I know.
That's why it never bothers me when Star barks or if Bob's dog barks. It doesn't bother me because it happens here all the time.
Is Rob 93 here? They say there's no link for it yet. He may not be going. He usually has his link up now. Oh, Ed's a driving. And what's the point, Ed? You can have a conversation and drive and type and all that stuff. He's fresh out of the movie.
You know, it amazes me because I drive a city bus, you know, and I come up to a stoplight and I look over, and I'll tell you, 99% of the time, people are texting on their phone.
Yeah,
And I've always said, you know, police officers should just ride the bus and look out the window and they can arrest all kinds of people for texting and
yeah.
driving.
You know what I saw this morning, YouTube, and it was clips of people that were actually videoed asleep while their Tesla was driving.
Oh, I
There
saw
were
that.
several of them. Yeah, several of them.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. My truck will pull you, you know, back if you're starting to go across a line. That's how it knows. I guess a camera, but it'll pull you back about 3 or 4 times, but then it overcompensates. So if you're asleep, you better wake up. Scary. Robert says he's going to be going with Ed and James to Aqua Show. That's awesome, Robert.
Oh,
That
that'd be
is awesome.
exciting.
Yep, it will be exciting.
I was hoping to go to Chicago, but us Canadians aren't allowed to go to the States.
Across the, yeah,
We can
it's true.
fly, apparently. If you fly in a plane, you can go, but you can't drive.
What's the
We're not
difference?
allowed.
What's the rationale?
I
I don't know. Huh? What would be the difference?
Lots of Americans are coming up here, like, but we're not allowed to go down there unless you fly. So I don't know.
Thanks,
Understand
Dan.
the concept.
Yeah, I saw
Uh-oh,
something
my
about that, like people on the border that like live in Canada and work in New York and stuff have been having major problems because they can't get across.
And then I found out the day I got my second vaccine, I did it while I was at work at the University of Guelph while I was sitting spare. I had time to go. My first shot was Moderna, and because we had run out of the university has run out of Pfizer, so they were doing Moderna for a little bit. So I got the Moderna. Well, then 4 weeks later, when I got my second shot, it ended up being Pfizer. And like 5 minutes after I had got my shot, one of the volunteers that was at the clinic, we had to wait for 15 minutes after, said that a lot of countries won't let you in because you didn't have the same.
Oh,
like
wow.
If like if both your shots weren't the same. But then I heard that if you had two different ones, that it was supposed to be more effective than if you had the same as the one thing. So I hope that doesn't stop me from being able to travel when we're finally able to travel.
Oh, yeah.
Because otherwise,
I've
I would have
started.
waited or gone somewhere else and got a
Right.
second Moderna shot.
I've started carrying my vaccination passport in my truck just in case, because you never know.
Yeah, I've got mine
you
out
know.
in my truck too. Although in Wyoming, nobody's ever going to care. But you know.
Well,
we're getting
here,
vaccinated.
Pam, it's one extreme to the other.
Yeah, I just saw something today on YouTube that Ontario, where I live, is getting, or we're all going to have to carry a passport as well, a vaccination passport.
Really?
And I don't know, there's a lot of people who are up in arms about it. But I don't know.
Do you have like a vaccination card when you get vaccinated here that they give you?
They just sent us a receipt in an email. So I guess if I print out those two receipts,
That should count, sure.
yeah, but I haven't gotten anything else from the health department.
This is like a card that we used to get. I guess kids still get it that shows they got there. I don't know why I'm doing that. Shows what the date and which one and all, but it says CDC on it. The pharmacy kept it. No, they didn't. They gave it to me after the first one. I had to take it back.
Like the
And they
card you
wouldn't.
used to get when you got a tetanus shot, that sort of thing. They used to give you a
Yeah.
card.
Yeah, yeah, or the MP vaccinations or MMR. Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
what is it? Mussels, measles, and rubella. I don't even know if kids get those anymore. Imagine they do. We had to get polio too when I was a kid, and it was a sugar
Yeah.
cube. Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, because back then, like polio was kind of common. But then once
It
they
was.
did the vaccine, like the shot,
Yeah, it hasn't been that long ago because I had a neighbor that had it when he was in his 20s and he was all crippled up. And people tend to think that polio was like ages and ages ago, but it wasn't that long ago. Was not
yeah,
No,
that long ago, people.
it was in
I
our
don't hear about it
childhood.
now though.
No, I did see something somewhere, so you know it was if it was on a video, it was true. It was supposed to be the very last person that's still in one of those iron lungs. I'm sure most people have never heard of that either, but it's the very last person. There's one person in one of those things. That
Yeah, if
would
there
be
would have been
something.
all this hubbub about, vaccinations and all that stuff when they were giving out polio vaccinations, we'd still have polio. We'd still be dealing with polio.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we didn't have any choice, did we? I don't think. I think
No, you
it
just
just
got it
took
when you
us
went to school. You got them.
because they didn't want us to get polio and get disfigured and all. So
Are you guys
yeah,
down there? Are they talking about a third shot?
yeah.
Booster shot, yeah.
Yeah, here too. We're in a fourth wave now again,
Hmm.
but
Brian.
we still have restrictions, but they haven't made more restrictions like they usually do. So it's like,
Wyoming has no restrictions. We've never had
oh,
any restrictions, and it's getting.
you
Wyoming is like the lowest population of in the United States, so you don't hear too much about it on the news because our numbers are small. But if you go per capita, we're not doing very well at all.
you guys.
But Wyoming,
Okay.
like I say, has no restrictions and nobody wears a
Hey, Dee
mask,
Dee.
and our hospitals are filling up. We don't have that many hospitals here, but it's getting bad here. But like I say, you don't really hear too much about it on the news because of our population being so low. And it's like Wyoming has the highest rate of nursing home deaths in the United States per capita, but you don't hear about it on the news because we don't have that big of a population.
That's why I was kind of surprised when I watched Bob's video at the reptile expo. Um, like here, we just had a reptile expo in Toronto a couple of weeks ago, and you could not enter that building unless you had a mask on, and you had to leave it on the whole entire time you're inside. And it's like that everywhere here still. Like you have to wear a mask. If you don't have a mask, you don't walk in anywhere, except for if you're eating. But and they only let
Some
in
little
certain
papers.
people, like a certain amount of people at a time, apparently. So I didn't even bother trying to go. But
Where's that at, Maria? Is that your state or everywhere? Or I hadn't heard that. Maybe I did, but she says as of 9/13, you have to have show your papers to get into a restaurant, health club, movie, etc.
oh wow, well, I think that's
Well,
a good idea.
welcome, Jimmy. Yeah, see what she says. Jimmy P. People coming in. Oh, New York City. Okay. Um, so it's not a national thing. People coming in just now, several people did welcome, and the stream is technically we're doing sharing the GoFundMe for the shelter that Sandy volunteers at that got destroyed by the Hurricane Nora this past weekend. So there are links in the description and in the chat. So anything at all helps. So appreciate if anybody does help. We appreciate you guys.
And John
Yeah,
McKenzie donated $20.
Awesome.
nice. Thank you, John. And thank you, Maria.
I want to make a donation, but I'm afraid that I'll lose the chat. It did something weird just then, just on its own. I don't know what's going on with it.
I
Here,
put
let
it
me
up
back.
on my face. Put it up on my Facebook while we were talking too.
Nice. I appreciate everything a lot.
Yeah,
Which
I
might
will.
help because I've got something like on Facebook. I've got something like 800 people on there. So hopefully,
I'm going to
Yeah,
share
I
it
was
to
a
mine
little
too.
disappointed with my family. I literally had to, like, I asked them to share, and none of them would share. I'm like, whatever.
why?
I don't know.
It's okay.
My one
That's all
cousin,
right.
I literally had to message her and ask her and give her the link, and then she did. But
I'll share it to my Facebook too. And guys, y'all that have used GoFundMe know, but if you don't, if you click on the link, there's right there the option to donate or share, and you can just share it like to your Facebook or anywhere. That really, thank you, Darla. That really increases the donations, and so you can help that way, and it not cost anything.
that's right. And that,
So that's a
you know,
huge help.
the more you get out there in the social media, the more it helps. Like, you
Yeah.
know,
Yep.
like you
I
don't have
have
to personally know the person
right.
if it's a good cause, and it, you know, that's all it takes. It's
I
just getting
have
it out.
just under, I'd have just under 5,000, like 40 something under 5,000 YouTube friends, followers, or whatever. But it's mostly people I used to work with and political friends, and some are animal related and ARC related. But so I'll definitely post it there, and I'll make a donation too when I don't have to worry about the chat here.
That'd be
So,
fantastic, Bob. I appreciate
so
that.
definitely will.
The more we get the word out, the more we can help them, and the faster we can rebuild.
Yep. And I ask people to reshare it, and a lot of them will. So they will.
And I have full intentions when they start rebuilding, because I do a lot of woodworking and stuff, and going down there and actually getting my hands dirty and do some building myself.
That's pretty
Awesome.
awesome.
Need to take Dee Dee with you. She's quite the carpenter. I found out.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
she
didn't
makes.
know that.
Oh yeah, check out some of her stand videos. She makes her big tank stands and all that. Yep.
Good for her. I'll check it out.
Yeah, I can't do that. Be afraid to try it. Let me see who else came in. Fishimon and 3G. Oh. So
Yeah,
guys,
I'm with you, Deborah. I like to swing a hammer too.
we don't have a like to sling it. We don't have a link to share yet for Rob 93, so he may not be going. So I'll watch the time just in case. But if he doesn't, we won't watch every last second. And if somebody decides they want to go in his slot, we'll share it out here before we close. So let us know. Pam, you should do an impromptu because 2 hours tonight is not enough.
That's enough.
Is it?
Yeah.
I see Sandy's got all of her Fish Fam stickers back there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's one poster there, and then there's another one over there. Still got. I have stickers to add to it. I just haven't done it yet.
Awesome.
I
Yeah, there
haven't
was
got
another. Jadron sent me a big sticker package. So, but up on the very top row of this one, you can see in the this weird pointing right there. That was my very first ever sticker I ever got, and guess whose it is? 54 Punchy.
Ah.
That was my very first sticker I ever got, so it's in the very first position.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very awesome. I'm making sure the guests that are waiting to come in are just us from when the chat blinked on me a few minutes ago. Maria said there's 25 likes and 27 watching. I think that's the way it goes. I'm thinking of getting another set of Fish Fam stickers for a giveaway. Oh, that would be cool, Mike.
Yeah, Mike,
That
that
would be
fun.
awesome. Awesome, awesome.
I think there was like 150 stickers in that package, but most of them I didn't know who they were.
Oh, Maria Z. Maria Z. Everybody knows stands at 9. You hit the 8 instead of the 9. Maria sure is a sweet lady. I think y'all know that by now, but she really is. You hit the like. Thank you, Ed. Much appreciated. It's always good to have the Chattanooga Ed's endorsement,
That's right.
aka a like. Ed's channel's really taken off, and I'm glad for him because he really deserves it. Mike called him a slacker after I'm chatting him up, and then Mike calls him a slacker. Mike.
Yeah, I watched Ed's video, his latest video about the amount of rain that he got there and how much water was in his tub.
Oh.
Crazy. Did you get rain like that, Bob?
I got, I forgot how much we got now. I think it was 5.5 or 4.5 inches. I forget numbers with the stroke. I can't do them. Can't keep them in my head. But yeah, we got some. My tub ran over, but I wanted it to flush it out. There's nothing in there except scuds, so just a water change basically.
Speaking of scuds, I think my Green Dragon Suckle tank has studs in it. How in the world did studs ever get in there? I haven't added anything.
They can ride in with plants and stuff.
You know, I did put some hornwort in there. Maybe it's
Probably where it came from then.
Will scuds bother, like if my suckles lay eggs in there, will the scuds bother the suckle eggs?
I don't really think so.
I've heard no.
They mostly eat like plants and moss and stuff. Or algae.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about putting one of my bedders in there. Maybe then the bedder will eat them. I don't like them in there. It freaks me out. I see these little things.
What did I do with it? Lori says we were under tornado warnings, had 2 hit land 20 minutes from us. After that, we are back to being under tornado watch again. Wow. This hurricane must be spawning lots of tornadoes around.
Yeah, from what I've seen on the news.
Yeah, Robert, that must be how those scuds got in there. Because I put
a lot of the East Coast is on tornado watch.
Sorry.
Hey, there's John Oliver. Welcome. John's really got his stuff together in his new place. Looks good. Check it out, guys, if you hadn't.
Yeah, it's coming along.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome stock. Yeah, it is.
I could just say, hey, you guys, make your dog quit barking.
Yeah. Yazzie, settle down.
It's actually mine.
Blame it on Yazzie.
Yazzie, quit that barking.
I don't know where the Yaz even is. He can't hear you, so that's why he's not over here wanting up. All right. Apparently, Rob 93 is not going to go. And nobody has said they want to do an impromptu. Lori, do you or John want to do an impromptu live stream? Because Rob 93 is apparently not going. So we've got almost 30 people here. And a lot of them would go somewhere else. Thank you, Lori. Oh, Titan's a sweetie. To get dinner. We're okay, Maria. We are okay. So you do what you got to do. Hey, Ryan. Okay. Well,
So what are we having for dinner, Maria? I know you're sending me some.
all right. She likes to cook apparently because she cooks supper all the time. Dinner. It's dinner up there. All the dogs at the art learn what supper means. It just means they want to eat, whether it's morning or night. So I tell everybody that adopts, you say supper, that means you're going to feed them. It's too
Sweet
much
Roast
to.
chicken and sweet potatoes. I actually don't care at all for sweet potatoes, but the roast chicken sounds good.
I wouldn't eat them when I was a kid. It was one of those things, but I like them now.
Mike, I think it would be cold by the time it got to you.
Mike invited us all. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start closing us down. Can
Well,
stretch
Bob,
it out.
I want to thank you very much for your support and your help, and everybody else, everybody in chat and stuff for listening to my story and watching me cry for a second. But I really appreciate it, Bob. It was a wonderful gesture.
Well, it's something we all have in common. We all love animals, or we
Yeah,
wouldn't be here.
exactly.
So be sure and check out the GoFundMe link there. Mike just posted it another time there. So, yeah, we'll share it in Pam's too. Yep. And Dan might let us share it. You can ask. Yeah. But anyway, be sure and share the link. That's what I forgot I was about to say. You don't even need to donate if you don't want to. Just share it on out. So, all right, guys. Pam, thank you. Sandy, thank you. And
See you later
Star,
on,
thank
Pam.
you.
Yep. I might like have you come up for a little bit on mine too and push it a little bit.
Awesome. That'd be great.
Okay.
Awesome.
Bye,
Okay.
everybody.
Bye.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys. Love you guys. Bye
Bye,
bye.
everybody.